Did you know if you live in South Carolina that someone could drive off the road onto a sidewalk, strike you with a vehicle, and cause your death, and they would only have to pay $155? This is what happened to our family member, Lukisha Nicole Thomas. She was walking on the sidewalk with her 2-year-old son and a friend, Ray Charles Wooden Jr., on March 30th, 2013 in Aiken, South Carolina. They were struck by a man driving a SUV, Thomas Woodruff Jr. He drove his SUV off the road onto the sidewalk. His vehicle collided with Lukisha Nicole Thomas and Ray Charles Wooden Jr. Thankfully, her 2-year-old son was pushed from the path of the oncoming vehicle. To our dismay, Lukisha was transported to Georgia Regents University and was later pronounced dead. She was 29 years old. Mr. Ray Charles Wooden Jr. remained in the hospital for nearly a month. He was recently discharged. Fortunately, Lukisha's son was unharmed during the accident. We are making this video because we are outraged. Thomas Woodruff was not charged at the scene. He did not receive a breathalyzer. According to Aiken Public Safety, Mr. Woodruff was not speeding. He was only going 41 miles per hour in a 40-mile-per-hour speed zone. The police allowed Mr. Woodruff to leave the scene of the accident without impounding his vehicle. According to the Aiken County Public Safety, Mr. Woodruff took his own blood test several hours after the accident. According to the medical report, from the day of the accident, Miss Lukisha Thomas suffered massive internal injuries, which included abdominal trauma that resulted in a massive blood loss. Her pelvis was broken. She apparently was suffering from seizures upon leaving the scene of the accident and arrival at the hospital. The medical report stated that the vehicle was traveling at a high rate of speed from 50 to 55 miles per hour. This directly contradicts what is being stated by Aiken Public Safety. According to the incident report, Mr. Woodruff was reckless driving. According to the law associated with reckless vehicular homicide, a person must submit to a chemical test of his breath, blood, and urine. None of these things were done at the scene. It is obvious that at the scene of the accident, both individuals were critically injured and a child was involved. If the officer initially wrote the incident report up as reckless driving, why did Mr. Woodruff not have to submit to a chemical test of his breath, blood, and urine? Why was this testing not performed by Aiken Public Safety? It appears that the bare minimum was done even though both victims were critically injured and a 2-year-old child could have been killed. Mr. Woodruff was charged with careless driving on April 19, 2013. In the statements that have been given by Aiken Public Safety, it appears that the focus was on Mr. Woodruff, not on the victims. Thomas Woodruff was charged with this minimal offense prior to Mr. Wooden being discharged from the hospital. The narrative of the incident report was written on April 1, 2013. The report states that Thomas Woodruff Jr. stated that he was traveling down the street and became distracted. He then heard a loud bump and realized that he struck Miss Lukisha Nicole Thomas and Mr. Ray Charles Wooden Jr. The family has inquired as to why the charge was downgraded to careless driving. Aiken County Public Safety stated that it does not fit the crime. Lukisha's sister, Maria Saxon, stated, "My sister's life was more than a traffic ticket." We, as the family of Lukisha Nicole Thomas, are committed to bringing attention to this case. We ask South Carolina Law Enforcement Division to reopen the investigation into Lukisha's death. SLED found that the Aiken County Public Safety had done the investigation properly. On May 2nd, Thomas Woodruff paid a fine of $155 for careless driving. Please ask as many of your family members as you can to share this video with everyone. We thank you for your attention. Please help us to get out the word about this awful law in South Carolina.